Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops, and the main topic of the day that I want to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks, because they headed to Chicago to face a red-hot Bulls team who had won 5 out of their last 7 games, and it looked really impressive, thanks to guys like DeMar DeRozan, who's still hooping into his mid-30s, Kobe White, who's breaking out, and Nikola Vucevic, who's been really solid as their starting center. Andre Drummond, as well as their backup 5, has been pretty good, but this was not a close game. This is a blowout for Dallas, 127-92, a 35-point win for the Dallas Mavericks, and it just was pretty much a blowout from the first quarter, and Luka Doncic, despite putting up his 8th straight triple-double with 27, 12, and 14, didn't shoot the ball all that well, only 39% from the field, but that's okay because he got picked up from the bigs, because the big men are taking over in Dallas right now. It is the Twin Towers look for the Dallas Mavericks, because it's not Maxi Kleber anymore, which Jason Kidd had tried to push after the trade deadline. It is the look that they traded for, though, so that they can play one really big guy basically all 48 minutes. It's Daniel Gafford, who they traded for, and rookie center Dereck Lively, the two of them dominating the court for pretty much the entire game, because Daniel Gafford just broke a play-by-play era record by making 28 straight shots over his last 4 games, including 9 shots in this one, 20 points, 9 for 9 from the field. He broke the record, which was previously 22, but now he is up to 28 straight makes. He's still behind Wilt Chamberlain for the all-time record, but in terms of modern NBA, nobody has made more consecutive shots than Daniel Gafford. 20 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of blocks, and 100% from the field. Then we're looking at Dereck Lively II, the rookie big man. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and shot 92% from the field. Both guys are shooting above 80% since the All-Star break, and it's been super impressive to watch, because yes, a lot of it are dunks, but they're just doing exactly what they need them to. Luka Doncic can run pick and roll, or you just put one of these guys in the dunker spot essentially all game long, and it's working to a lot of success. A game where Kyrie Irving doesn't even play all that well, but it doesn't matter because of how good the two big guys were, because Kyrie has 14 on 42% shooting. PJ Washington, who's been a really key forward for them since the trade deadline, has had multiple 20-point games, only puts up 7 points in this game on 60% shooting. It wasn't that he wasn't feeling it, he just didn't need to turn it on because of how dominant the bigs were, and it's something you may not have expected because of the size that the Bulls have. They have Nikola Vucevic down low, as well as Andre Drummond. They're a big team. It seems like if any team is going to be able to stop the bigs that they have, Chicago would be right up there on the list. But they just can't do it, and they've also held Chicago's bigs to very poor nights. Nikola Vucevic, 13 points on 46% from the field, was a minus 22, and then Andre Drummond had just 4 points on 33% shooting. Their bigs were not good, while Dallas has dominated the game, and the team as a whole shot 54%, but if the two bigs don't go for 44 points on like 95% shooting, then it doesn't seem like a great shooting game for Dallas. It was Lively and Gafford lighting this up. Gafford's still just 25 and Lively is only 20 years old. This can be the two bigs for Dallas for a long time. They can run this Twin Towers group, but they don't even have to play together, so it's not necessarily that you're running them as this monstrous lineup, but having one of them on the court at all times just makes this a super physical, tough team in the paint, and that's hard to stop. But now let's get into some other action from around the NBA. So, in other action around the NBA, we did have 5 other games on the night, 6 games in total, kind of a lighter night on the schedule, and the back and forth duel at the bottom of the standings keeps going because the Pistons get the win over Charlotte to pass the Wizards again for 14th place. It feels like every other day these teams are flipping for 14th and 15th in the Eastern Conference because all of a sudden the Wizards and Pistons are winning some games, and Detroit has been getting really good play from Cade Cunningham. 22 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds in this game was a plus 20 for Detroit. 20 and 10 for Jalen Duren as well. 17 for Simone Fontecchio, who's been a really nice piece that they acquired for basically nothing at the trade deadline, a second-round pick, I believe. Getting him in from Utah, his spacing has made a lot of difference. 19 for Brandon Miller from the Hornets, but as a team, they shoot sub 40% from the field. Then moving on to the next one, we have Phoenix versus Cleveland, a game in Cleveland where it was expected to be somewhat of a close game. I'm not sure quite why that was, but Phoenix runs away with it, 117 to 111. It didn't feel as close as that was because while the Cavs had leads at points, the Suns pretty much dominated the second half, and the big three was good for Phoenix. 37 for Kevin Durant, 27 for Booker, and 24 for Bradley Beal. This is what you want if you're the Suns, getting your big three on the court together and having them all put up big scoring totals, and it leads to a win. The Cavs, despite not having Mitchell or Garland No, Garland was playing, sorry. No Mitchell, no Strus, no Mobley. They're still staying competitive, and a lot of that had to do with a 21-point first quarter from Darius Garland, which gave them a 20-point lead that they could not hold at home. But it's a bummer for Cleveland, but Phoenix comes out on top by 6. Then we have Warriors versus Spurs. No Steph Curry still for Golden State. The second straight game versus the Spurs. The Spurs did beat them the game before without Victor Wembanyama and Devin Vassell, missing their top 2 players. As a team, they shot over 50% from the field and from 3 in that game, but they don't do that again, and the Warriors win this one because of it. 42% from the field and 38% from 3 for the Spurs. Not awful numbers, but not enough to win. 27 and 14 for Victor Wembanyama, but Trace Jackson Davis dunks on his head, gets 13, 10, and 5 on 86% shooting. The young rookie big for the Warriors was a big piece in them winning this game. Over 20 from Kuminga and Clay as well. Then we move on to Nuggets versus Raptors, a game in Denver that looked kind of scary for the Nuggets, because the Raptors built up like a 20-point lead in the first half and were up really big going into halftime, but the Nuggets from the late third quarter on dominated this one, just went on a huge run to close the gap and then to win the game by 6, 125 to 119. A massive triple-double for Nikola Jokic, 35, 17, and 12. You also get 26 and 12 from Jamal Murray. Toronto gets 26, 7, and 9 from RJ Barrett, but the Nuggets come out on top. And then in the final game of the night, we did have Celtics versus Blazers, a game in Portland that basically felt like the Celtics had a double-digit lead for pretty much the entire thing. 27 for Jaylen Brown, 26 for Jason Tatum, and a big stand-up game for Sam Hauser, who had 22 points on 67% from the field. No Porzingis, no Drew Holiday, and Sam Hauser steps up in their place. Portland does get 22 and 15 from DeAndre Ayton, who has been much, much better as of late. Ayton looks really good over the past couple weeks and continues it in this one. Delano Banton cools off for Portland, just 8 points in this one, couldn't keep up his revenge streak. Looked good against the Raptors going back to Toronto, but couldn't play as well against the Celtics, the team that traded him at the deadline. But that'll do it for this night in the NBA, another night in the NBA. Now let's move on to the next segment. This is the Moneyline Hotline, the place that keeps your bets from going cold. left. It was a perfect day yesterday for the Moneyline Hotline. Hit every single prediction. You could have made good money yesterday. Really solid day overall for the predictions with the model. Mavs +3 over the Bulls, a standard game, and they were -174. Turn your $10 to $15.75. I also took the Suns over the Cavs, and that hit as well. The model predicted 6 for 6 yesterday. I didn't give you all the games, obviously, but I hit everything, so that was fantastic. But no underdogs predicted yesterday, and then for the parlay, we hit that as well. Suns, Mavs, Celtics, and Warriors to win +300. The Nuggets is the only game I didn't show you, I guess, but it was like -1200. It wasn't really worth betting, but you get the parlay. You could have got that at +300. That is a hit, and the best bet is a hit as well. Follow the Twitter at @themoney_line for the picks as soon as they come out. But great day yesterday, perfect day, and we'll try to do it again today. But now let's move into the best bets ladder, and that is day 3 now, because we have hit the first 2 days. Pelicans -250 versus the Hawks. You turned your 10 to 14, and then the next day, Mavs -174, turn that to 2205. Both games were easy wins, blowouts, no stress bets. They were fantastic. Then you get into 312, which is today. The Thunder -250 versus the Pacers. Turn that 2205 to 3087. You would have tripled your money in just 3 days. But if J-Dub is out, Jalen Williams is questionable for that game. If he's out, I would take the Bucks -116 versus the Kings. Better odds, a little more risky, but the Bucks have looked really good as of late. Chris Middleton could return this game as well. 2205 to 4106. The Celtics, when I last checked, were -270, so if you just wanted to put all your money on that, that one is very high likelihood of cashing, so not as much of a return, but 25 would get you up to about 36 if you did that, so you'd get a good return. But these games are a little bit more money in your pocket. But now let's move into the model predictions for today, March 12th. The best bet, like I said, is Thunder +3.6 over the Pacers. That drops to 1.8 if J-Dub is out. They would still be favored, don't get me wrong, but I think that at that point it gets a little more risky, because the Pacers are always a team that can just get really hot from 3 on any given night, and if one of the top 3 players on the Thunder is out, then I don't feel as great about it. So if he's out, Bucks +3.1 over the Kings, and that's at -116. The Knicks are also not bad. That was -225 when I last saw it. OG Anunoby could come back. There are some good bets today, but the underdog for today predicted is Grizzlies +1.9 over the Wizards. The Wizards actually grade out as a negative team according to some advanced analytics, so it's going to be hard for them to be favored over just about anybody. And the Grizzlies, despite Jaren Jackson is out, Bane is out, they are still projected to win. +120, turn 10 to 22. That one's a risky bet. I'm not going to take it myself, but you can if you want to. And then the parlay for the day: Celtics over the Jazz, Thunder over the Pacers, Clippers over the Wolves, and Knicks over the Sixers to win +280, turn $10 to 38. Just about as good as odds as you had yesterday, and I think again it's a pretty solid looking parlay. But those are the bets for today. As always, make your picks responsibly, but that is the Moneyline Hotline for today. Follow the Twitter for the picks as soon as I have them. But now let's go to the top 5 players of the night according to me. Nikola Jokic comes in at number 1 with 35 points, 17 rebounds, 12 assists, and 6 steals. A heroic effort in the Nuggets' comeback win over the Raptors. Luka Doncic at number 2 with his 8th straight triple-double. 27, 12, and 14 was a massive +34. Kevin Durant at number 3, and the Suns win. 37 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 66% true shooting. And then rounding out the top 5, we have both of the Mavs big men. Daniel Gafford, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 100% from the field, is currently at 28 straight made shots. Then we have Dereck Lively II at number 5, 22, 7, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 92% from from the field. That is the top 5 for the day. Getting into the top play, it is this one, this Trace Jackson Davis poster over Victor Wembanyama. Really impressive. You don't see many dunks on the likely rookie of the year, but I didn't see any viewer submitted questions for today, so we're gonna wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed the daily recaps. I love making them, so if you love watching them, think about subscribing, watching some more. I'm on the road to 13,000 subscribers. We're only a couple hundred away, so if you enjoy the video, share them, drop a like, subscribe, it all helps. But leave your questions down below for tomorrow's viewer submitted questions portion, or I will put up a community post as I do every day after the games, and you can ask your questions there. But that'll do it for me, so thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Peace.